Today we're going to discuss high pressure injector line leaks on 03 to 07 5.9 Dodges. The 03 to 07 5.9s, the injector lines were known for cracking and developing leaks. They had clamp failures, and when the clamps failed or loosened, it allowed too much vibration in the high pressure lines. The lines would crack and you've got a mess. So if you're watching this, hopefully that you're not doing this because you've had a failure. Hopefully you're just doing it as preventative maintenance. How do you know that this has happened to you? Obviously, you're going to smell fuel inside the cab. You're going to have an absolute mess. Truck's probably going to stop running because of high side leak. You're probably not going to be able to maintain rail pressure. If it maintains rail pressure and it gets you home, good deal, but you're still going to have a mess to deal with. So we're not going to show you the leaking line on this truck because when Adam pans into the engine here, you're going to be able to see that definitely we've got a high side leak here. It's pouring fuel. So let's go over some of the tools that you need to be able to replace the fuel lines. Oh, one thing, this is normal. This happens with all 6 of the lines. The number 4 particularly is bad about it. And while I've got the line outside the truck, I'm going to show you the updated line. The new updated line from Cummins, this is the number 4 cylinder that we're working on in this truck today. The number 4 cylinder line from Cummins at the time of this filming is part number 5289447, which we have up on the website. You can see in this line that this is the updated clamp. This clamp is a rolled steel clamp instead of being a sandwich clamp with a bolt through it that's able to vibrate out and loosen up, which is what causes the distortion in the line. It'll give you the cracks. The folded over steel clamp can't loosen up, so it's going to be there forever. So you're going to have a better product with this one. So this is the number 4 line. Go through some of the tools that you're going to need. A couple of torque wrenches. I use a 1/2 inch torque wrench and a 3/8 torque wrench too. Crow's foot 19 metric. If you've got one of these, is very helpful if you're going to torque your lines, which I suggest that you do. 19 metric wrench and a 24 metric open-ended wrench. Snap-on actually makes a tool for the injector retainer nut. I'll show you. I don't have that tool with me today, but it is available from Snap-on. And then a 10 metric socket to remove the hold down clamp. This is on a swivel and a power drive. So let's go ahead and, oh, last thing, 24 metric socket for torquing the injector feed tube nut. So let's get started with our installation. All right, first we're going to have to remove our old line, and in removing the line I'm going to teach you some tricks that I've learned on how to get these off correctly. If you've done this job before, you know that the injector lines, the high side lines, they're prone to staying stuck on the injector feed tube. I'm going to show you how to go through this, and hopefully it keeps you from that happening to you. So we're going to go ahead and put a light on the number 4 line. This is the number 4 line here. Here it is at the head, the cylinder head. What we're going to do is first we're going to take our 24 metric wrench, and we're actually going to put it on the retaining nut itself, on the feed tube retaining nut. You can see that leaves us with enough shoulder of the injector line to be able to loosen up the line. So what we're doing is we're holding that retaining nut stable while we're turning the 19 metric at the line. So now I'm going to lay my 19 metric on there while I'm holding the flashlight. Excuse my wobbling there. So there's both wrenches on the line. You can see that they're completely independent of each other. This is going to keep the feed tube from turning inside the head on you. So hopefully you won't have a problem with that. So we'll go ahead and crack this line loose. I usually try to go both ways with it just to loosen everything up. And thank goodness that one came on out. So we can go ahead and take our 24 metric off there and spin the line off. Then we're going to loosen up the 19 metric at the rail side. All right, there we are on the rail, and we'll loosen it up.
after one more nice turn of the wrench here. I always work with the fuel fittings themselves before I take the injector hold down bolt out. May not make a difference, but that's just always the way that I've done it. I think it keeps the line stable while you're working as well. And this is a nice job to do if you've got a 19 metric stubby when you're working on that rail side. Now you can see that that line is already working quite a bit there in my hand. That shows you that the clamp itself has indeed failed. All right, we're loose now. So we're gonna go ahead and take our hold down bolt out. It is again a 10 metric. I just use one on a swivel. Our bolt out, then our line will come out. So as you can see with this line, clamp's completely failed. The line is walking inside the rubber isolator is absolutely useless. Let me see if I can figure out my spray on this line. There it is. Probably won't be able to see it on the camera angle. My spray on this line was a crack that actually happened right at the injector hold down, and you can see it kind of right there working on our focus, but it's closer to the injector line nut there. So irregardless of where it happened, that's what we've got going on. So
stop fidgeting for a second. I'll show you. No, the camera won't focus.
Okay. But it's cracked there at the line nuts because of obviously because of the clamp failure. So now we're going to go ahead and install our new one. Okay, now we're going to get started with our installation of our number 4 cylinder line. First thing that we're going to do is we're going to retorque our feed tube in the head. Feed tubes on the common rail Dodges are critical for well, they're critical for fuel pressure. Before you do anything, you want to make sure that you retorque your feed tube on these lines, just to make sure that after your installation, there hasn't been something else that you've missed. So the feed tube retaining net torque value is 37 foot-pounds. I'm gonna go ahead and use my handy dandy torque ratchet here and my 24 metric socket, and we will click it off to 37 foot-pounds just to make sure that everything is up to torque. All right. So there we are with that. Now we're just going to simply lay our line in here. Make sure that both ends of this are clear. There's no debris that came out of the packaging. I'll go ahead and start my rail side nut. Then my line, I will go ahead and put it into the retaining, or the injector feed tube, and get it started. Let me give you a little light here of what this looks like so far, where I'm at. So I'll go ahead and hand tighten those down. And on the rail side as well. Okay, so now that we've got both of those hand tight, we're going to torque down the high pressure lines. 22 foot-pounds on the high pressure lines. This is where your crow's foot's going to come in. I've got her 22 here. got it in a position now where I can click a torque off. Okay, there's 22. We'll do the same thing on the rail side line. Last step is our intake bolt. My intake bolt was lined up. I knew before I tightened my lines up, so I was in pretty good shape. I'm gonna go ahead and start it in the head, in the intake manifold now. We'll go ahead and snug it down. Do not over tighten this. Okay. There we go. Our number 4 line is in now. There is no bleeding on a common rail truck. We get questions about that all the time. If you've done this installation on high side, now you get in the truck and you start it. So this is a very common failure on these trucks. A little bit about this: we offer all six of the lines on the website. We also have them in a combo pack. If you wanted to do all the lines and get all of the updated clamps, by all means we suggest that, but we do offer both of those on the website. So again, this is the replacement of the number 4 injector line on our 5.9 common rail Dodge. If you have a question on this installation or any of our other installations, please give us a call. Thank you.